Jay, so I've been seeing something circulating on Instagram and now YouTube. Response of Ebony K. Williams to a viral TikTok video that's talking about what's known as a Mrs. degree. And in this, she was responding to the fact that younger white women are often, you go to college with the idea of finding their husband in college, whereas younger black men, that's not the process. So her thought is, if you're a younger black woman with the desire to go to college, then you should also be looking at that time to find a husband if that's your desire. Now, did you get an opportunity to see this? And then what's your response to this thought process?
I don't have no beef with that. I don't disagree with it. I think that a lot of times the family dynamic is set up differently when you're telling these women to do that. Like, my daughter doesn't need to go to, she's going to be who she wants to be. And if college is her path, she go there. And so I can tell her to go and find her husband in college because I'm going to take care of you. You know what I'm saying? One way or the other. But now go find love. Go actually find a young man who is intelligent. This is probably where the intelligent young men go. They're going to act like assholes in college, but more than likely, if he finishes his degree and, he gets a good degree, you guys can grow together and actually be a powerhouse team and couple. What she said was fine for me. The problem is when you get to hear her actually talk and somebody have a conversation. I heard her on the Breakfast Club. It turns my stomach. And it's not because looking at her, she's a nice looking woman. I champion her. I give her a hand clap for all the things she's accomplished in life. I really do, and I'm not being facetious. However, I literally hate with a passion, women like her when they get to this point because they talk about people like Michelle Obama. She mentions Michelle Obama. Everybody say they want, a man want to find his Michelle Obama. Y'all got to see who Michelle Obama really is. Here is a talented woman who is more talented probably than her husband, but saw that it was a possibility that he can have a longer runway than she could, and she took a back seat. I don't see her as that type of woman, and I don't see her breeding those type of women underneath her caring, her keeping, and her education. I see it saying, because as men, I don't know about white men, but I know black men. We were born to, and when we come out of these good households, everybody ain't come out of a screwed up household. We were taught to get ourselves together so we can find our bride and take care of them. And we did all the things we could do. We got the money. We got the riches. We got everything for y'all. And I just see women like her pushing the narrative that y'all need to get everything for you. And maybe you'll have us. And that's scary, and I hate that. I'm not saying I hate her for all the dummies who just taking that and run with it, because some people just hear one thing and run with it. I don't hate her. I don't know her. But I do hate that. And again, what she said, that whole soliloquy was cool. Hey, and honestly, it wasn't even for me. It was for women. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think nothing's wrong with it. But I heard her on the Breakfast Club, and it was just so, I'm sitting there like, are you serious right now? Like because when you get your $1.7 million house, and when you get this for yourself, you got $1 million salary, you got this, a man gonna have to come correct. I keep asking the question, who in life have you ever heard a man, when somebody tell a man, when you get your $1 million salary, when you get your $1 million house, when you get your car, when you get your bag, your this, you get that, you got to find a woman that come correct. The worst case I've ever heard was she had to be beautiful. But she could have been a beautiful idiot. She could have been a beautiful, weirdo, anything. A beautiful psycho, axe murderer. But it was find him a woman. That's the worst case I've ever heard. But sometimes that ain't even the case. But that's the worst I've heard. It's never like, yo, let me just do my own thing. And I watched a horrible exchange where she said she froze her eggs. And now she's going through so she can have a child now herself at 40 years old, right? Without a man. She just want to have it. I'm going on this journey on my own. And she talked to this other young lady that's 31, and she's encouraging her to freeze her eggs now. Like she's unattractive, like she can't find a man in the next year or two to have a baby with. Because you're breeding that, oh, you're successful at 31, you're probably going to be just as successful as me at 40 once you get there, and I'm 50, and just in case you don't get this, you have your own situation. That doesn't have to be that, but we keep putting our sisters and our babies, our baby girls in this thought process of do it without him. Do it without him. And then now it makes me go back to what she said. And it's like, did she really mean it that way? Or she's saying, all right, well, if you don't get your man in college or shortly after, then you're going to start having to go freeze your eggs. You got to do all this other stuff and get your money so you can do your thing. And if you do get somebody, he's going to have to come correct. I'll end with this. Michelle and Barack Obama were both broke when they met each other. So for everybody who wants to be Michelle, right, and want to use her as the benchmark, they grew something together. And yes, she's just as talented, just as educated as her husband. And she could have said, I don't give a damn if you want to be a politician. I'm trying to get my bag. But she pushed that man to the forefront, and she is more successful than she ever could have been on her own because she pushed that man to the forefront and she supported him. And that's all we want. I'm not saying do it for a bum, but with the way y'all move, you ain't even getting a chance to even see what the potential is. It sounds like a nigga got to pull up to you with his W-2 in hand or his 1099 or his Schedule C's or whatever in hand. And then if you don't see what you think you should see, you're going to keep it moving. It's the death of love. It's the death of partnership. It's the death of community. Worst of all, the death of family, the black family.